Have you ever started into a new role and felt completely overwhelmed? You knew you had the skills and you knew you had the abilities, but before you knew it, you were drinking from a fire hydrant? Well, I can promise you, you're not the only one. Hi, I'm Anna from BA Solutions, and today I'm going to talk about when a leader feels overwhelmed and to give you some tips and tricks on how to fix that. I was looking through Reddit and found a really good post on a leadership subreddit. I'm going to post it below if you would like to look at it for yourself, but I'm going to read it and I'm going to give my thoughts. I recently got hired for a facility manager role with a detox center at a well-known company. I'm excited to prove myself and showcase my skills. I'm relatively young, 25 male, and my last job, right out of school, I was at a large hotel resort property where I worked as an engineer manager trainee. This property had around 40 to 80 beds and is a decent size. The big difference, I won't be working with a team of techs. It'll just be me. I am a hard worker, I get along easily with people, and I like to joke around, but I take my job very seriously. That said, my last job was kind of a mess. I discovered some weaknesses in myself along with issues at the property, and I want to avoid repeating these same mistakes. Here are my main challenges. 1. I have ADHD. I'd lose my keys in my wallet. I wasn't organized as I wanted to be. I got called out on that multiple times. 2. Lack of technical skill. College taught me almost nothing about the hands-on side of engineering or building maintenance. Thanks to my last job and a lot of YouTube, I've developed a general understanding of the trades, like painting, HVAC, carpentry, and boilers. But if I'm being honest, I'd rate myself as a C at best. 3. Confrontation. I can confront friends and family easily, but when it comes to coworkers, leadership, or strangers, I become very passive. When I confront someone, it becomes an overly friendly conversation. I hesitate to be direct. 4. Getting overwhelmed. When my plate gets full, I forget tasks, and that absolutely sucks. So I'm going to discuss these 4 questions, and I'm actually going to put 1 and 4 together. So the one thing that I can't stress enough when it comes to 1 and 4, you have to have a routine, okay? So, and it doesn't matter if you have ADHD or not, routine is gonna make or break your day, okay? So if you come home and you always put your keys in the same place every single time, the next morning when you woke up late and you're not moving fast enough and you're rushing out the door, you know your keys are by that front door, or you know your keys are in a certain location, you will always know where they are, right? So this is why routine really helps you. It is a consistent pattern that your body knows, your brain understands, and that keeps you from feeling anxious, which also can help with the overwhelmed feeling. So I cannot express enough, routine is so important, especially for our ADHD people, right? Now, I personally don't have ADHD, but I have worked with plenty of people who have, and the ones who were successful are the ones that had a solid routine every day. They got up every day, they did the same thing every morning, they put their things in the same spot every day, and they made sure that they wrote things down the same way every time. They could always find stuff, they could always refer back to a document, and they always had that at their disposal. And really their ADHD ended up becoming a positive because they were able to fire off those things so quickly because that's how their brain functioned, but they knew exactly where everything was. So again, you need to find your routine. You need to find what works for you. Me personally, I have to write everything down. If I don't handwrite it, I'm not going to retain it. Some people are like that. Some people can put it in a document in an app and it works for them, but you have to know yourself and you have to find the routine that absolutely works for you. Number 2, utilize that calendar. Make sure that you block out time for certain tasks that you need to get done. Make sure that you use your task manager. If you put down a deadline and you put up in that task manager to remind you, hey, this is due on the 13th of February, or this is due next Monday, it will help you keep that focus. Having that notification pop up on your email or having it pop up on your phone, whichever one you utilize the most, that will help you. But I cannot express enough, make sure you use that calendar. And again, I use my calendar. If it is not on my calendar, I'm gonna forget it. I've put my bills down on my calendar. I make sure that I have every meeting down on my calendar. If I have a big deadline, I make sure to put that deadline on my calendar, and I remind myself a week out, hey, did you get that done? Write it down, make sure you keep it documented, make sure that you put it on a calendar, make sure that you use that task manager and use it all the time. Do not think that if you, oh, I'll just remember this. It's okay. I don't have to write it down. Just don't. Because again, routine is going to be what makes you successful. So the second thing I'm going to talk about was he was concerned about his lack of technical skills, which he used YouTube and previous jobs to get some of this information. I always recommend that if you feel that you're not meeting the mark with something, that you go back to your leader, especially if it is something that is required in your job description. Do they have resources and do they have education for something that you may need? And make sure you utilize them. A lot of organizations will actually offer a lot of education and it comes for free. And then that will teach you however they want it done, which is also incredibly helpful as well. Now, if for some reason your employer doesn't offer education like that, then I would also recommend asking them, especially if you have a peer that you can go to, or if you can go to your leader, is there education outside of the organization that they would send you to? Would they even be willing to pay for it? Is this something that you're going to have to pay out of pocket? Now, here's what I'm going to say about YouTube. There's a lot of great content on YouTube that gives you a lot of great information. Please make sure you vet that because I've seen some content come across on YouTube that definitely would not be what I would use because I would be concerned as to the validity of the content. So if you're going to use things like YouTube, again, a lot of great content, but just make sure that you vet it before you use it. So the third thing that he had a problem with was confrontation. Now, I know very few people that actually thrive in the world of confrontation, so this is not an uncommon situation, right? Now, he does say that he does have no problem in having these conversations with family and friends, but of course that's a trusted environment, so this is why he would probably feel comfortable in having those conversations there. So if you do have issues with conversation that is going to be crucial, I recommend a couple of different things. Number one, make sure you always come at it with facts. If you are coming at it subjectively, unfortunately, opinions are opinions, and that is going to incite the other person. Number two, make sure that you understand when you're coming at this conversation, if they're ready to hear it, then you might have some success. If they are not ready to hear this conversation, understand that you're probably not going to get the outcome that you want. Number three, make sure you come at it calmly, because if you come at it with high emotion, you have already set yourself up for failure there. So those are the big three that I actually use, and this can be an entire video in and of itself, which I may make in the future. But right now, facts, make sure they're ready to receive the information, and make sure you come at it calmly. Those are the first three things when I'm having a crucial conversation that I make sure that I have in place. Now, me personally, I try to have the conversations sooner than later because I would much rather deal with a molehill versus Mount Everest. And that's why I prefer to have crucial conversations quicker. But some people, they get so scared of it, they end up dealing with Mount Everest. So try to have it as soon as possible, because the longer you let it go, the bigger it's going to be. So these are my thoughts on this post. What are yours? Drop a comment below. If you think this content is helpful, please hit subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.